Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, Comments and Answers TJ. I hope all of you are doing well. In this video, we are going to prepare for the book study, Complete Testimony, for the week of July 15th to 21st. This week we will study chapter 12, paragraphs 14 to 20. So, let's get started. Questions 14 to 16. What other two lessons do we learn from what Paul and Barnabas said in Lystra? Paul and Barnabas adapted their message according to the knowledge and context of their audience. In Lystra, where people had agricultural knowledge but not of the scriptures, they used agricultural examples to preach. This teaches us the importance of adapting our way of presenting the kingdom message according to the circumstances and beliefs of the people we talk to. Additional comments. We should not despair if people do not accept the truth immediately. The response of each individual depends on various factors, and each one will be accountable to God for their reaction to the message. This teaches us to be patient and to keep sowing the kingdom seed without getting discouraged, as the results depend on the ground where the seed falls and the disposition of the listener. In Romans 1:19-20, Paul mentions how God's invisible qualities are clearly visible in creation, encouraging us to use nature and people's surroundings as a tool to talk about God. In Matthew 13:18-21, Jesus explains that the seed can fall on different types of soil and will not always bear fruit immediately. This parable reminds us to keep sowing the kingdom seed, trusting that Jehovah will make it grow in due time, even if we initially do not see positive results. Question 17. Where did Paul and Barnabas go when they left Derbe, and why? After being stoned in Lystra and recovering, Paul, along with Barnabas, traveled to Derbe, where they made many disciples. Then, instead of taking the shorter route back to Antioch of Syria, they returned to Lystra, Iconium, and Antioch of Pisidia to strengthen the disciples and encourage them to remain in the faith. This journey shows their dedication and sacrifice, prioritizing the interests of the congregations over their own well-being. Additional comments. In Acts 14:20-22, we see that despite difficulties, they returned to places where they had faced persecution to encourage new believers. This shows us the importance of continuously supporting our brothers, even in difficult situations. In John 10:11, Jesus describes himself as the good shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep. Following this example, we must be willing to make personal sacrifices to care for and strengthen our brothers in faith, showing true love and concern for their spiritual well-being. Question 18. How are elders appointed? Paul and Barnabas appointed elders in each congregation, praying and fasting before committing them to Jehovah's care. Today, a similar procedure is followed. The bodies of elders pray and examine if the proposed brother meets the biblical requirements before recommending his appointment. Then, the circuit overseer reviews and makes the formal appointment. This process ensures that the elders are guided by the Holy Spirit and meet the biblical requirements to shepherd the congregation. Additional comments. In 1 Timothy 3, 1-10, 12, 13, and Titus 1, 5-9, clear requirements for elders are established, highlighting qualities such as being irreproachable, sober, and able to teach. These requirements ensure that elders are spiritually mature and well prepared to care for the congregation. In Acts 13, 1-4 and Acts 14, 23, we see that before making important appointments, they prayed and fasted. This teaches us to always seek Jehovah's guidance and blessing in important decisions, ensuring that His will is done and not ours. Question 19. What are elders aware of, and how do they imitate Paul and Barnabas? Elders are aware that they must give an account to God for how they treat the congregation. They imitate Paul and Barnabas by setting an example in preaching, strengthening the brothers with their words, and being willing to sacrifice for the congregation's well-being. Their responsibility and dedication ensure the congregation's spiritual welfare. Additional comments. Hebrews 13:17 says that elders must watch over the souls as those who will give an account. This underscores the importance of their role and the need to exercise their responsibility with love and diligence, just as Paul and Barnabas did. In Philippians 2:3-4, we are exhorted to consider others as superior to ourselves and to look out not only for our own interests but also for those of others. Elders who follow this advice show true love and care for the congregation, strengthening the brothers and being examples to follow. Question 20. What effect does learning about the work of our faithful brothers have on us? Learning about the work our faithful brothers do and the blessings Jehovah gives them motivates us to continue speaking with boldness thanks to Jehovah's authority. Knowing that God is using His faithful servants and seeing the results of their labor encourages us to continue our own preaching work with enthusiasm and determination. Additional comments. Acts 14:27 shows how Paul and Barnabas reported to the congregation in Antioch of Syria about the doors Jehovah had opened to the nations. This type of report strengthens and motivates us to keep going, reminding us that Jehovah is blessing our work. In Ephesians 6:19-20, Paul asks for prayers so that he can speak boldly in declaring the gospel. Seeing the courage of other servants of God inspires us to pray for strength and to be more active and brave in our ministry, trusting in Jehovah's support. Well, these have been the practical answers for this week's congregation book study. I hope they are very helpful to you, my dear brothers and sisters. I send you a big hug, and may Jehovah always bless and protect you.